A great Wednesday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas. And I actually got here to the office super early because someone had me come in for a meeting at 8 o'clock. And I got here at 7:55. Huh? They're not outside? Oh. And they said, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting till like 8:15. And then at 8:15, uh, Mother Nature calls. And always gotta listen to what Mother Nature calls. Mm, Sandwich or brisket. So I closed the door and I went to the bathroom. But Mother Nature wasn't calling. It was only air. So no restroom. So sometime during this morning, I have to go to the restroom, I think, because it's knocking. And well, it didn't show up and sends a message at 8:19. Oh, we're going to meet at 8 o'clock. I said, it's 8:19. I was here early. I didn't even go to Walmart this morning. Every morning I go to Walmart. I didn't go to Walmart because I'm always on time. They said, oh, well, took a bus and the bus was late. I said, oh, yeah, that's fine. You should have let me know. That's one of the things that I always tell folks. If I am going to meet with you at 10 o'clock, I will be there at 10 o'clock. And if I'm not going to make it, I'll say, hey, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to be a little bit late. Uh, is that okay with you? Because that way, the individual, don't want to leave the individuals waiting. And I think that's something that a lot of folk here in Brazil, or maybe just all over, uh, aren't very conscious of. If you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain hour, be there at the certain hour. Like,
Oh, you mean like me being?
oh no, no, I was waiting. I came in early. I told you I was going to the office early because the client was going to come in at 8 o'clock.
Right.
They didn't show up at 8 o'clock, so you know, I locked up the office 'cause I had to go to the restroom.
Hmm.
And then at 8:19, they sent a message. Hey, we were going to meet this morning. I go like at 8 o'clock. It's
Hmm.
8:19.
Right.
Oh, well, bus was late. Well, you should have let me know, and I would have known. But I didn't know. So supposedly they were going to wait, and I said, "But I got a show at 9." Today probably might be a long one.
It might be. You never know.
Might.
Hey, are you sure you're using your microphone today?
Oh shoot. Let me see.
Just making sure because you sound a little distant to me.
No,
And
it's on.
it's on. Okay.
Okay. Let me put it closer.
It might be. Yeah. It just sounds like you're kind of. It sounds like you're far away to me anyway. But
Good
then again,
morning. Good
I'm
morning.
hearing these things.
Good morning. Is my sound okay? I'm sure that the sound. I'm hoping that the sound is okay. Good morning. Good morning. Breakfast taco and coffee ready. A ver si no se raja Roman. Uh, I think it's.
What? Well, I wasn't actually supposed to. Well, I told him I would try to come today.
Oh,
But at the end of the day, like, no, I told you I was gonna try,
you said
and then
Wednesdays.
yeah, and then I said last night that I'm not gonna go, and then this morning you called me, and I was like,
Good morning.
surprise.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and again,
Best.
it's okay. So I figured I let him know, hey, that's fine. Just to, go on my own rant for a good 30 minutes, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm glad Roman's here because, again, one of the things that I've always made mention of, you know, you don't have to like Roman. A lot of people don't. But
I don't
Roman,
like them either. Like you make it seem like,
no, no, but
oh, they don't like me, and I'm like, I don't like them either. Like I probably don't like them more than they don't like me because I can't stand some people in this freaking community. Well,
I,
it's yeah,
that's like all of us. I mean,
yeah.
I, you
Yeah,
know,
but you, I love how you're like, well, they may not like women. Like,
oh,
well,
because
you know what? Me
I was,
vale. Like,
well,
like,
I
what's
was
wrong with you?
I was actually getting to a point.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for your point, I guess.
Yeah. So a lot of people may not like Roman, but people when they're like, I say like, ask Roman. He goes, Roman. I go like, he's an asset. In
I'm
regards,
also an asshole
yeah,
to people.
very
That's
much
why
so.
they,
But
That's
you're
just an asset, man. Asshole.
mostly an asshole.
Oh,
But
sorry, I'm not at that early morning. I shouldn't use those language. That language.
there are some things that Roman is very, very knowledgeable on.
Mm.
Several things. But some things are very knowledgeable. So like when individuals go like, "Oh, well, I have a question in regards to campaign finance, the campaign finance report or something," I go, "Roman should know." And Roman did warn me in regards to saying, yeah, you gotta file it on Monday, and of course I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot. Yeah.
But I filed it Tuesday. I sent it off Tuesday, which it's going to be okay. I mean,
But I think you put well, you're not spending any money, and I think you wrote down at your original thing that you were not planning on spending a certain amount of money, and so I don't think you're required. I'm not giving you legal advice, but I don't think you're required to submit a 30-day if you have signed that document that says you're not going to spend so much money.
it also could be a little bit louder, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you sound kind of far away. I don't know. It's your mic or whatever. I think maybe one day I need to go into your computer settings to be able to play with your microphone
You can
to
play with my
like the to like because even my microphone's more sensitive, but I've actually lowered it down so that even if I get loud, it doesn't reach a certain level.
that, and then maybe I have an extra microphone. Maybe I just should just interchange it. But again,
Which microphone are you using?
a Yeti.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's something in your settings on you're still using your an Apple thing.
Yeah, on my Mac.
Okay.
So, but we'll check it out later. But again, I said ask Roman. Roman should have, and knows also a lot about like policies and procedures, like with the city of Brownsville and with other things. I think as well. Uh, and just ask, And I think Roman's the curious type enough that if he doesn't know, he'll try to find the answer for it, like the 30-day thing. And I did file it a day after.
But again, I don't think you are required to. If you signed that page that said that you're not going to raise or expend a certain amount of money, and if
Uh,
you did do that, then you're not required to sign
well,
that.
I didn't plan to raise anything. I don't plan to raise anything. That's just the fact of the matter. Back to the best. Once you got a Mac, yeah, that is very true. Once you get a Mac computer, you don't want anything other. I still don't understand why a lot of people use the other one. Okay, I forgot. What is it?
Windows
Windows.
or a Chromebook.
Oh, Chromebooks are horrible. Macs are the best. They really are.
Mm.
But uh, did file late. There's not much to report. The only thing that I purchased, again with my money, is signs.
You
And
mean you didn't get a donation from Baltasar Salazar as certain people are claiming that you got?
did not.
I'm very confused by yesterday, and I know people are tuning in because they want to hear a little bit about that, but we don't have to talk about it all right in the beginning. We had to talk about it for a little bit and move on and then go back to it. Get that tease going. You're good at the tease, I'm assuming.
A little bit.
But I mean, you did get any money from Baltasar Salazar or
Did
from any
not.
vendors?
Did not. And again, like I
Did you get a donation from the mayor of Brownsville, John Cowan?
did not.
Okay,
And like
just
I
wondering.
mentioned to Maggie, uh, repeated to her again because I've made mention of this many times. I've never received money from vendors to run a campaign. My statement has never changed ever. And but a lot of folks,
Well,
especially
that's not that. And just to be clear, I've donated a few times to your campaign, and I am not a vendor at this at anywhere. I'm
you
not a
just
vendor.
you just pretend
But
to be.
no, I'm not. How can I pretend to be a vendor? That means I get money from somebody, and I don't get money from anybody.
Yeah.
Uh, but that
Oh,
being said,
let me clarify. The only time, and it's not a vendor, the only time I received anything, which were signs, was from Project Red or something.
yeah, and they're not a vendor.
Not a
But
vendor.
that was when you were running for county commission
Yeah,
like 2 years ago. But they're not
okay,
a
no,
vendor,
yeah,
and
again,
they even pay. I think they pay for your filing fee, but they're not a vendor. They're a political action committee. But regardless, I don't understand. I mean, frankly, as I told you probably many times, I feel bad for Maggie because Maggie doesn't know, and she doesn't know a lot. And I'm not saying that you have to know a lot to be able to talk about things, but you have to know a little bit about some of the stuff that you talk about. And I just don't feel that Maggie knows enough about how campaigns work, specifically how campaigns work. And I repeated myself, but I want to make sure you understand how campaigns work. You have not received money from a vendor in
no,
any single one of your campaigns. You have your campaign, you won, and then people want to donate to your campaign and say, hey, you spent money for your campaign, which I guess you did because
Yeah,
you actually won. So I'm assuming you spent some money. Hey,
t-shirt, sign.
let's get rid of your debt.
Yeah,
And so they donate to your, not to your, they donate to your campaign account, but you've already won. You're
yeah,
already in office. So they didn't necessarily donate to your campaign to get elected. They donated to your campaign account so
yeah.
you can get rid of your debt.
And I've made mention of this since it happened. It's kind of strange because it's not like something that you have to like, oh, really dig up and search. When it happened, I made mention of it publicly, and every time it has been brought up since 2018, I've said exactly the same thing. Not hiding anything. And again, it's
Mm-hmm.
besides the point. What they were trying to say is they were trying to associate myself with Baltasar Salazar and say, well, you receive money from Baltasar Salazar. Oh, wait a minute. And I think you mentioned or someone else mentioned it to me. Like, well, so did the other individuals who ultimately fired him.
Yes, that's what he did. I mean, and look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with donating to campaigns, but if you're an attorney or a tax attorney or whatever, and you're not donating to the incumbent, you you're gonna have potential problems. I mean, I'm not saying there's any quid pro quo. I'm not implying that. I don't want people to think that. But simply because you're in that position, you're gonna donate. For example, right now, if you look at some of the incumbent campaign finance reports, you're gonna see Purdue. You're gonna see Purdue gave him money. Well, Purdue is a vendor that some of them I may have gotten money before. I don't know. Did they get money? Did any of them get money prior to being a vendor, or did they get money after being the vendor?
I think prior. Uh,
I honestly don't know. But regardless, you're gonna have they're a vendor, they donate, but they're no different than what Linebarger would do. Linebarger gives money to people that are elected official because and for example, I went to like I was critical that Eddie Lucio the third went to he's not a Republican, but he's a lobbyist. And he went to an event for Juanita, a fundraiser. And it's like, well, why is he there? Well, it's not because he's a Democrat or a Republican. It's because he's a lobbyist. So that's what they do. They go to these things because that's part of the game. Now, do I like it? No. Do I wish our money was out of politics? Yes. I wish that, they weren't doing it, but that's what you do. You have no choice. But apparently Maggie just doesn't understand that.
well,
Just doesn't get it. And I
and,
feel bad for her because I guess she's trying to. But then again, I shouldn't feel bad for her because she has me blocked
well,
because she doesn't want to hear me complain.
and part of the problem is like, and she said it. She has said it multiple times. She goes like, "Well, explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader." And I go back and I try to, well, you do this and this and this and this and this. And look, guys, it's very very simple. You go to the individuals, like I mentioned with Roman. You go to the individuals that carry that pocket of knowledge, and you ask. Don't have to like the person, but ask, hey, what's up with this? And all you have to do is ask, and then you'll have a better understanding of the facts. The problem with Maggie is I think some of this has gotten to her head a little bit because she's getting attention by a lot of disgruntled individuals or a lot of individuals from BISD, and she's now like, well, I've got my thing up here, which is great. I mean, more power to you. A lot of folks is to stem out and do their own thing, and again, it's better for the community. There's more individuals out there that are sharing facts, true information. That's great. I've shared privately with her at times. Like Maggie is the
But I'm assuming not anymore.
no, not anymore. You're sounding crazy. Share that privately with her. And again, I have never posted on the page. I've never posted negatively about Maggie, but because that's what friends do. Hey, you're sounding kind of nuts, or you didn't get the story completely right. Because a lot of times, what happens, Rowan, with a lot of these younger folk or these newer folk that are coming in, they don't know the backstory to a lot of the things. And when you don't know the backstory, you really don't have a clear picture of what really is going on. And that's what's happening with all this. There's a force uh, moving against the incumbents right now, which I understand. There's a force moving against the incumbents, and that's being driven, by Carlos. That's the truth. I mean, I think. Everyone knows that.
Mm.
Now, when I say everyone, not everyone in the community, but everyone that's in the political world, that little circle, everyone knows what's going on. And again, more power to him. I mean, if he wants to have these individuals on there that he's going to manipulate or going to do whatever he says, again, more power to you if that's what you want to do. It doesn't serve the community.
Do you think she resents you
Who?
in some level, Maggie? I mean, there's some of these new people. I feel like they resent people like you and me because it's not that we think we're smarter than them. We are, but I mean, but doesn't mean that we really think it. If that doesn't make any sense, like we're not trying to be like, oh, we're smarter than you. It's just we want to help you to understand some stuff because at some point you kind of want to stop. At some point you want to like I may not always be here. I may decide to move and I want to get the hell out of here. So I want to leave some people with some knowledge and I can leave because and that's why when I think I've said this before on your show, maybe or at least for you privately, when I first started being involved in the community, I wasn't hanging around people my age. I was hanging around with old people. And the reason I hung out with old people is because they have knowledge and they have backstory and they can tell me stuff that I didn't necessarily know. Even now, I still get information that I didn't quite understand when I was younger. And so it's like I want to help, but at the same time, I think they resent us. I mean, some people I've heard it from people. They're like, we don't like Ramen. We don't like you because you tell us this stuff, and it's like, and it's not you're not part of the team. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be part of a team. There is no team. Like we're not a team. Like we don't wear the same uniform or anything, but we can be part of the same circle. We can be helping each other, but there's no freaking team. Oh, but then again,
And look, and folks, it's not a thing that, oh, you have to do it my way. One of the things that I appreciate is, I could listen to Roman, I could listen to other individuals, and then, ultimately decide on my own because ultimately the decision is going to be mine.
mm,
But you have these individuals that have that backstory information, and I mean, a wealth of knowledge. And let me say, and this happens to a lot of folk because a lot of folk,
mm,
don't completely grasp
mm,
what's going on because they're not in that little circle. And again, a lot of the folk that are in that circle, they know what's going on. And again, it's like a game. And I've always made mention of this. Politics is like chess. You're always thinking, trying to think ahead, and always trying to, be ahead of a lot of the individuals that are wanting to do you harm or harm to the community. That's what we do. And I put up a post yesterday because it does get to the point where it becomes a little bit on the frustrating side. And again, it is kind of frustrating. I mean, Roman, we've been at this for years.
mm,
You know, came out with a save TSC. We were the ones that put that together. We had individuals go and be there with signs and everything when a UT system was wanting to take away from the community of Brownsville over $250 million in property. $250 million. Just give it to them in order to set up a UT here. And I mean, I went all the way to Austin, Texas, before the education committee and, higher education committee. And I spoke there. And Saliendo went out there and spoke to their attorneys because, they said, what do y'all want? I said, we want TSC to survive. That's what the community wants. We do not want to give it up. We do not want to give you the buildings. And I
mm,
remember because Rene Oliveira was one of their attorneys, which I
mm,
thought was kind of a weird being that he was our representative down here. But it's that type of information that, benefit a lot of folk. I mean, out there with, and I made mention of this, with Barbacoa Gate. You remember Barbacoa Gate?
a little bit vaguely.
And I wasn't just on there in regards to informing the community about it. I was the one that brought it to light
Mm,
because they shared the information with me. I brought it to light, and I contacted the school district. I contacted every single news station that was around, every single one, even the Brownsville Herald. Guys, there's an issue here. They are serving our students spoiled meat, and it's because of Barbacoa Gate. Because what happened is board members is that had cut a deal with this fake company called Valco, and it was a fake company because when they went to look for the company in McAllen, it was a like a little closet office that the only thing in there was a phone. That's it. No furniture, nothing,
Mm.
just a phone. Completely fake company. And what they were doing is they were sending USDA meat to Mexico and then mixing it up with Mexican meat and then bringing it back to sell to BISD with the USDA label on it. And we shared that. And again, that's a lot of a lot of the back. There's even backstory to that because the individuals on the board at that time who had their hands in the Barbacoa were Cesar, Carlos, and I can't remember the rest of them. I think it's the I can't remember, but it's Cesar and Carlos. Carlos were there. I mean, they were there. That's the backstory, but we never got any information
Mm.
because Baltasar Salazar squashed it. You
Mm.
know, squashed it to the point where they made it basically disappear. There was nothing. We never got an answer as to who made money from Barbacoa Gate, as to why it happened, and of course, we know what happened. I mean, that same day that I threw it out there, uh, the superintendent closed down FNS, closed the director's office, and I think 7 days later, 10 days later, supposedly he killed himself, which to this day I do not believe. Supposedly he killed himself. Uh, Again, those are the backstories that a lot of folk, for some reason, have forgotten, and they don't remember. And I bring it up, Roman, because it's having that type of information that maybe might give you, uh, you know, an informed decision. If you're going to make a decision on something, an informed decision.
Mm.
So again, why is it dangerous for Carlos to get the majority? I think it would be so detrimental to this community, very very detrimental. Again, I'm not questioning his service as a board member, not questioning it at all. But
You're not?
as a board member, as an individual, I mean, he could be out there and give his opinion, give his facts. Again,
Okay. I understand. I think I understand what you're saying.
not questioning that your thing, but to have that much power, all of a sudden you're going to get uh, printing companies getting contracts for chicken nuggets, which occurred also under his watch. You remember that one?
No, I don't.
Printing company, you know, was billing BISD for chicken nuggets to the sound of $2 million. And like when we were out there, we said like, what is? Well, again, this is when I was just reporting on it. Why is a printing company, uh, you know, allowed to bid for chicken nuggets? It didn't make sense. Uh, but there was a lot of those types of deals that were made. We don't want to go back to those types of era. Again, it's been mentioned. I think the current board made mention of the sign and how not the sign, what the scoreboard,
Mm-hmm.
and how the scoreboard, I think was over budget like $600,000 or $800,000. It costs more than it should have cost, and no investigation.
Well, I
No,
remember. I sort of remember the billboard because they had gotten their billboard here at Brownsville, and they tried to pass it off like it was the best billboard in the valley. And at the same time, the same year, a bigger, better, more up to date sign was put at in Westaco ISD at the same time, and they're like, and I think they received like some sort of a letter from BISD to like, hey, stop saying what you're saying because this one's better because the same person, I maybe was it the same person who sold the billboard to the school district, sold the one to Westaco ISD? It was it the same people? I don't remember.
I don't
Honestly,
remember.
it's been so long ago. But I do remember. But I do remember like the billboard. I'm like, this is not as good as the one in Westaco because I'm from Westaco, and so
Yeah,
I'll go to games like this is not as good. This is like kind of feito, not nice, not as nice. I should say. I'm not saying it's not nice. I'm just saying it's not as nice as the one in Westaco. And I want to say the one in Wesco was about the same amount of money.
I think actually it was less. I remember it was less, and it is a bigger, better scoreboard than ours, and that's where all the questioning was.
Like,
Well,
why did that happen?
like,
And who was on? Was it the same person that did the school board and was pushing for the scoreboard? The guy we just named the field after? Is that is that
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, I don't remember. I'm seriously, I don't remember some of this stuff, but I'm trying very different. We're trying very hard to remember stuff because I'm getting old. We're all getting old.
Yeah,
That's why we want to tell everybody about everything we know now because we're going to forget everything and we're not going to remember stuff like that.
yeah.
But I look.
Well,
The reason I feel bad for you, Erasmo, because I know Maggie's your friend and everything,
was
and I was, and I used to consider Maggie your friend. I mean, I think the last time I saw her, I was like, "Hey, what's up?" She's not. She's trying, I guess. I'm going to turn like Samuel here. She's trying, but I think she's letting you down, and I think she's letting her readers down by posting the things that she's posting. And I don't see what she's posting. I just know what you've told me. You know,
because you're blocked.
because I'm blocked. And it's okay because I think that if I were not blocked, I'd probably be telling her, do you even know what you're talking about? Do I have to talk to you like a fourth grader instead of a fifth grader so you can understand?
Third.
I'm like, I mean, but at the same time, I feel like we're insulting elementary students. We should not insult elementary students because maybe an elementary student, and I have a kid in elementary school, so I'm pretty sure he would understand. You know,
Well, it's unfortunate again because do you still have signs? Yes, I do. Please come by the office. Let me know. It's unfortunate because again, you have a platform. Use it for good or to do something for the community.
yeah.
But when
And that's my concern is she's putting herself out there and saying that, oh, I'm only asking questions. I mean, at least she stopped with the dear Renee thing. I'm hoping. Did she stop with the dear Renee, or is she doing a different dear now?
the what?
You know how she used to do dear Renee, like it was like
Ah,
some sort of diary or
no,
whatever.
I don't think she's doing the. I don't think she's doing
Dear anything
dear
anymore?
dear Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know. Whenever a story would pop up on my page, and I thought like, oh, it's a good post. I'd share it. I didn't care much for the did anything. I thought it was a little bit on the obsessive side, but that's and again, everyone's free to do what they want to do. But again, it's just, and like I mentioned to her, Maggie, whenever I wanted to redirect or like share something with you in regards to maybe a post that you were completely wrong on, I did it private. Hey,
But why didn't she do that with you here? Like, why didn't she? Why did she went out and bash? Is it because Carlos and them are giving her the attention that she so desperately seems to want?
yes, exactly. Uh,
It's like, is it? Were you not attentive to her needs or something? Or is she mad because you called her out that she had the Farley sign and then she took it down, even though she doesn't live in BISD and has a Farley sign, which still doesn't make any sense to me. And the only reason I know this is because you told me.
well,
But it's like, and then she took it down and she got mad and like, well, I'm not really supporting Farley. I'm not really involved. And yet she goes out and does what she did here, which
um,
is so bad. I mean, it's just so wrong to do that to you.
well,
But
her thing is she goes like, well, SK, you were rude to me, or I said I'm rude to everyone.
yeah, no,
I,
and I've told you off like many times,
yeah,
and I do it all the time. So you give and you take, and I guess that's the difference between you and me is like we fight all the freaking time because we can, but I do feel bad for you because Maggie was your friend. I do, but I know you at the bottom at the end of the day you really don't care because that's just you. Like you don't have any feelings.
yeah, and that's what I mentioned. Yeah, my feelings are very very much in control in that respect.
Okay.
But it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate, and and it is a little bit on the disheartening side again,
All right.
and not
Okay,
wanting
well,
to.
let's move on. We've spent like 30 minutes talking about this. Let's move on to other things that are actually important. Like, what's up with the mayor of Brownsville giving $1,000 to all these BISD candidates?
Well,
Again, I do not have a problem with people donating to people's campaigns. I don't. I'm just questioning, like, does it make sense for the Brownsville mayor, who I don't think I've ever really seen his name up until recently, doling out $1,000? She gave $1,000 to Daniela in March. He gave $1,000 to Tim. Who else is he giving $1,000 to? And it just seems very weird to me
Tim,
that you're giving.
Jessica, no?
I don't know if she did. I didn't
Oh,
look at Jessica's campaign finance reports.
I know.
Sorry for those of you I let you down. I didn't look at the campaign finance reports. I didn't look at everybody's campaign finance reports. But why is you have a situation here where BISD is selling Cummings Elementary property that belongs to you BISD taxpayers, all BISD taxpayers, and they're selling to the city. And remember, the number one issue the number one or number two issue was for John when he ran was the zoo and PUB.
And Lori Pugh.
He hasn't lowered the PUB rate yet, but I mean he's getting to that, right? I'm maybe one day. And so you give $1,000. You need Cummings to expand the zoo, and you get what you want. And here you are involving yourself as a mayor. Well, not as a mayor, as an individual, John Cowan, donating $1,000 to these people.
Well,
Did you get $1,000 in Erasmo
I did
from
not,
him? No.
I did not get $1,000.
Why is it? Because you oppose the Cummings selling, or you're not cheerleading the Cummings selling as much
No, I
as other
wanted
people?
fair market value. Fair market value, which I've been saying for the past 5-6 years, actually, when the talks first started happening in regards to Cummings. And again, that's a lot of the other backstory that a lot of people don't know. We were out there screaming about it like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't even remember. But the report, the finance reports, as we mentioned at the start, were due on Monday.
Yeah. But wait. I want to say something before I forget it. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that there is a quid pro quo, like, hey, you sold us the Cummings school, so I'm going to give you $1,000. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm not implying that. I just think it looks wrong. Like, you should not do it. The appearance of impropriety is what I'm talking about. The appearance. Okay. Just want to make it clear because I don't. People, you're insinuating that John's corrupt. I'm like, I'm not insinuating nothing. I'm just saying it just looks bad, and it's dumb. It's politically dumb.
It is the. Oh,
Okay.
actually, I have the campaign reports here. Let's check out Jessica so real quick. I don't think that's oh, thank you, Juan. You're amazing.
Juan printed it out for you.
Yeah, actually, Jessica reported no money coming in.
No money coming in from anybody.
No, zero.
Including, so there was no donation from John Cowan.
Well, I don't believe that. I don't
Why?
believe. I do
Okay,
not.
so
I do not believe that.
okay, let's look at her. Can you look at her expenses? How much money is she claiming that she's expended?
655.
$655
Yeah, 655. I don't believe that either.
with the amount of signs that she has. Dude, I want to go where you're getting your signs at. Like, where are you getting your signs?
What's this one? Yeah, she spent money at Walmart, Lopez Athletics, Araceli Pasaman. I don't know, but I mean, maybe she bought the signs. I don't know before.
She might have gotten it. I didn't look at her July account, so maybe the signs she bought in July and she paid for them.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's where she got the money. If that's the case, but
Or did somebody donate the signs and is it an in-kind contribution? If you look at the in-kind contribution.
no. But I still find it hard to believe that she didn't receive any money in these last couple of months. I find it very hard to believe. And there's a lot of things on those reports that are just crazy. You know,
like Nelda.
yeah.
I mean, and I like Nelda, but Nelda has probably the most signs other than Farley,
Well,
and they're nice.
one of the things that Maggie and that group, the Carlos group, or they're pushing Nelda like crazy, and oh, Nelda. I'm going like, have you questioned, why she reported zero?
Like not just $0 coming in, but $0 coming out. Like she's not even claiming she's spending money from her personal fund. Like, but so where is she getting her signs? Where is she getting her T-shirts? Where is she getting her push cards? And she sent out a mailer?
Unless she paid for this before?
No, because she wasn't an announced candidate until after July. So this is her only campaign finance report. So why would that money? And Victor Caballero, Jessica's opponent, no money either. Like not even money going out, no money coming in either. Like this makes any sense.
And that's unfortunate, Roman. Again, I like Victor Caballero. And when I have
You
the
can
chance,
like him all you want to, but
I
it
have the
doesn't
chance.
make any sense because every campaign finance report that I've seen this year's, I think the only campaign finance report he says he has money, I think he says he spent $66. I think that's the amount of money he has spent prior to this particular campaign finance report in October.
I
That
was
also makes no sense.
I was disappointed with that with Victor's report. Very very disappointed. Because again, at the end of the day, Roman, when was it that we went? We went to his meet and greet, Roman. Uh,
Yesterday or day
no,
before
not
yesterday?
yesterday. When was it? Like 3 weeks ago? A month ago.
So where did that? So they spent money on a meet and greet. What happened? Where'd the money? Where did it get spent?
We were there. You can't say that it never happened. I was there, and I said like, well, at least maybe in kind contributions or something, or who paid for the meet and greet. I think he paid for it. It's not on the report.
Where the hell is it? Like that's all we're asking. Just make sure your campaign finance reports are accurate and a reflect of what you're spending on your campaign. Sorry, I'm hiccuping.
And that's again, why do that? And look, and again, because again, Maggie and that little group is like, oh, Nelda, Victor, um, who's the other candidate? Farley and some other one. I can't remember the other candidate they have. But
I think they're supporting Minerva, aren't they?
uh,
Are they supporting Minerva, right? That group?
Minerva,
Yeah.
they're all out there. Oh yes, yes, we've got to get Carlos's majority. Why? And Roman, if they're fudging up the numbers now, if they're hiding things now, what expects people to think that as board members they're not going to do the same? And look, guys, people that are watching, this community has been hurt far too long and too much with these back behind closed door deals, and never out in the public. If your campaign finance report says zero and you're having these swanky events and have
And
signs all over the place, it's just not believable.
and even if somebody like let's say another political action committee, let's say they come out there, right? And they pay for your event or they pay for your signs. And you know about it and you know that they're spending on it, you have to report it. Like there is a spot in your campaign finance report that you have to report. And so the people that are out there screaming transparency, we gotta be transparent. We need an audit, guys. We need a transparency. We need an audit of your campaign finance reports. And I guess maybe I'm the only one who cares. Maybe you and me are the only ones who care about campaign finance report. But I agree with you. Your campaign finance reports are a reflection of you as an individual and how you run your campaign. If you're not able to be transparent and say where your money is coming from and do it in a timely fashion, unlike you're not timely because you're late. But then again, I don't think you're required to because you're not spending more than a certain amount of money. Why are they not doing it? Why are they not reporting it? Are they claiming that the amount of money that they're spending on these signs and everything is under the threshold that is to have to report it?
Well, yeah, that's not happening.
Because there's also a part where it says unitemized for expenses. You know, like even Juanita, if I looked at her campaign finance report, she spent like $4,000 in unitemized expenses. What those unitemized are, we don't know. No one knows.
No one
But
knows.
she says she spent, what $100,000 on her campaign. But 4,000, I can't account for. I'm not. I'm not itemizing it.
Well, and look, guys, again, on Farley's report, Robin, Farley's report, that's even more disheartening. You know,
So what does his report claim?
and let me tell you, I'm questioning Roman, and I'm wondering if if they could be held liable because they're swearing under oath. They're swearing under oath. I
So a lot
swear.
of that stuff is governed by the Texas Ethics Commission. So if anybody who looks at their campaign finance report, they can file a complaint if they feel like there's something wrong with it.
This
They
is a
can
lie.
file a sworn complaint to the Texas Ethics Commission. It's on their website, and you file a complaint, and they'll be the ones who investigate it. And then the Texas Ethics Commission, can then forward any potential criminal. I mean, because they only a civil thing. They only do civil stuff, but they feel like something is criminal, like let's say they're delinquent filers and they've been delinquent for like $20,000, they can file a complaint and they can do that with a prosecutor or district attorney, and that district attorney would be the one to be able to do the criminal stuff. I believe there was a Supreme Court case that just came out this year from the Texas Supreme Court that said that a prosecutor cannot initiate certain things that are governed by the election code. It has to start with the Texas Ethics Commission
Well,
first.
well,
So I don't know. I
under,
don't think Luis Stein can look into some of this stuff.
it's under penalty of perjury. So I, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I think
Yeah, I know you're not a lawyer, and I'm not a lawyer either. But I just something I read, and I think one of my friends, Mark McCaig, he runs a website called the Texas Voice, and I think he wrote about that particular case involving the Texas Ethics Commission.
well,
Because
you could ask him prosecutor. Maybe he'll know. Because again, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm going to go out there and try to prosecute. You know, God bless these people, but Farley's reporting $3,000, $3,015 in expenditures. That's not true.
how is he getting his signs? Where the hell is he? Where are these people getting their signs?
Yeah, I want to
Because
get
signs
that.
are expensive. You know they're not as cheap as they once were.
And the other thing is, there's no expenses on the report. There's no expenses on there. Did not include the expenses.
Oh, so he's saying $3,000 in unitemized stuff. Is that what he's claiming?
I have no clue. But
No, no, no. Tell me where it's like you're holding it right there. It'll tell you right there.
no, total political expenditures, 3,000 and
And then right above it, it should tell you. It should tell you whether he has is he
itemized
reporting.
political expenditures,
Yeah.
zero.
So therefore, he has to itemize it. That's the point of that page. That page says, okay, he's saying $0. I'm unitemizing. It means I'm not going to report where I'm spending the money because I have the receipt somewhere, but I'm not reporting it because it's under a certain amount. I'm not reporting it. But the other part is 3,000. That means that there's $3,000 of itemized, meaning you have to itemize and report it, and he's not doing it. And if he's not willing to do it in his campaign finance report so the public can read it now, do you think he's going to do a good job on the BISD board? No.
And
Absolutely not.
that's unfortunate because
That's what I believe anyway.
look,
And that's my personal opinion.
my signs, but we bought 50 4x4s and 50 4x8s,
And how
just,
much did you pay for them?
just the signs, $2,026, something like
And
that.
you reported it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right.
$2,000. You have to take into account as well, Roman, that you have to buy the stakes. And
The stakes are expensive, especially in the Biden economy, unless you're getting reused stuff and you're renting them or something. But the stakes can be like what when I ran, I want to say they were like $4 or $5.
$5 for something.
And but that was like 20 years ago or something. Now with the inflation, they might be like $10 for all I know, each stake. And to do a 4x8, you need 3 stakes per 4x8. Unless you're going to be cheap and only do 2. And like Farley, for example, he's doing 2 4x8 side by side. So he's doing what? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 stakes. Let's just say 4 stakes. So he had the 4x8, which probably cost him $25. Get its color. Let's just say $25. Plus the 4, and then he's doing 2 of them side by side. That's $50.
Double.
Plus the 4 stakes. Let's say $5. Let's say they're $5. That's $20. That's $70 right there. Just for one spot. And where does he have all those signs like that? Think about it, guys. I mean, let's just say it's $3,000 divided by 70, because we're just 3,000 divided by 70 is what? Somebody do the freaking math, because I can't do that in my head.
Well, what's unfortunate is his signs are everywhere.
Right. So it's $70 más o menos a spot when he has it side by side. Think of
hundreds of signs out there, folks. It's not going to cost you $3,000. I mean, I'm seeing maybe $4,000 to $5,000 in signs, lowballing it.
It's like what? Okay, so it's 70 times 40 would be 2,800, right? So let's just say 45. So there can only be 45 spots. And he has probably more than 45 spots in this city because, again, Brownsville is the largest city in the valley. And that doesn't even include the little signs. The little signs are probably what, like $3 a pop plus the H stake thing that he's doing. That's what, $1 because steel's expensive.
Aside from that, Roman, T-shirts and other events that they've had, it's not reported. What's most concerning to me is that the report is completely fake, fabricated. It's not true. He's got these electric billboards.
Those are freaking expensive.
I would
They're
say,
like what, $500 for a week or something,
oh
maybe.
no, puppy, between $3,000 and $4,000
No, in a week,
a month,
not
a
a
month,
week,
a
a
month.
month. Yeah, that's why I said it like $400 or $500 a week.
Three, the four. I would say it's low
So I'm
ball.
not
Three,
look. I'm
three
not
thousand five
saying
hundred.
his. I'm not saying his fam like you. I'm not agreeing with you that it's fake, fabricated. I'm not going to use those words. I'm
Yeah,
just saying it doesn't make any sense.
it's
That's all
not.
I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? To other people, because they don't read these things, they're not involved in campaign. Somebody like Maggie, she's not. She's like, oh, it's $2,000. I guess. Why are you calling? Why are you saying Erasmo that he's fabricating things? That's what she's gonna say. But it just doesn't make any sense.
Um, this is what's unfortunate, because these individuals, according to Maggie and that little group, they're going to be the saviors of BISD.
How?
Well, they say, if they're lying to the people now, what makes the people think that they're going to be truthful after they are in this on the seat? And again, Maggie could do whatever the hell she wants. She could go out there and pull my 2018 reports. Now they're going to throw out, which I'm going to respond to. Uh, now they're
What is she? What is she now claiming?
now they're claiming that I haven't mentioned the Gallegos and the federal trial that's going on.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
because
Did he give you money or something?
no, but because son primos de Marisa, so it's like, oh, is that
So
why?
how the hell is that your problem?
Well, why is it also being quiet about
Who
Gallegos?
cares?
Is it also being
Like
quiet?
why is Maggie being quiet about 40 campaign finance reports? Like
Is,
is that the game they're gonna play? Really?
is it also being quiet of the Gallegos federal lawsuit because
Who?
Marisa?
That
They're
has
like,
nothing to do with you.
Roman,
Nothing to do with you.
oh, I was one of the first ones to report that stupid.
I believe you, and you know what? I think you're right on that.
I was
I think
one of
you're
the
right.
first ones to report it and to let people know that they were in big trouble and they were getting raided. The FBI was there. Again, I was one of the first ones to make mention of it, to the point that individuals, I don't know if you remember when Ruben had heart issues. When he had
I
heart issues, and again, very dark, and again, but
I don't know.
hope he's doing better. You know, individuals close to him, they said, Erasmo, um, do you mind, if you would, not going, that harsh is going through this? I'm going like, guys, it's already out there. I mean, it's done.
It's part, and it's also part of the no,
I'm,
no te vale, like like the Erasmo me vale
well,
thing. Like that's you,
again,
right? Because you have
I,
no feelings.
again, I hope back then that he was okay, and I continue to hope that he's okay. But it's newsworthy, and I'm not the news, and people need to know. And again, I've been Maggie knows for a fact that I've been mentioning it even when she was coming on the shows, and even as of recent, we've been talking about the trial. We've been mentioning it. I actually wanted to find some time to go, and was prepared to go one day, but they were doing jury selection or something like that. So I
But
said,
you're not. But you're not talking about Erasmo. That's what Maggie. You're telling me Maggie is claiming that.
well, again, it's unfortunate because the things that they should be mentioned, and let's say, Roman, that okay, you want to throw out my 28 report, that's fine, that's up to you, which was not before the election. But again, why is she not mentioning anything about these? Because it doesn't suit their narrative.
She's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
Don't look at me, the band behind the mat, the curtain or whatever.
like, and to the BISD employees that are now, and there's several individuals that are friends of mine that follow me, that's fine. Shouldn't this also be posted in regards to individuals? Why is she not mentioning Farley's bullcrap report? Why is she not mentioning este Nelda's zeros, or Victor Caballero's zeros? Again, Victor, I like Victor. He's a friend. I'm not going to hide that he put zero on the report. It's there, and it's unfortunate. And I'm hoping to have that conversation with it. It's unfortunate Because again, folks, and to the BISD people who are being driven to vote for Farley or for Tim, whichever the two guys, they're Farley clearly showed in his report it's not going to be truthful to you. Why do you want to elect another politico that is going to be doing behind the closed door deals? It's not truthful to you now when he's asking for your vote. Or Nelda, and I'm really disappointed in Nelda, really, because I liked Nelda. I considered her a friend.
But she's over there politicking with your opponent,
I,
holding signs at Porter and at Falk,
I don't even mind that,
right?
but that she would get money from Baltasar Salazar, and
Again, you got money too before, so no te haces.
not
But again,
not
that's
before,
different,
not for
and
running.
it's 6 years, and that's also, but that's 6 years ago. Things happen in 6 years, 6 years time. You and I in 6 years have been friends, not friends, friends, not friends. And things happen, things change. But this is now, this is the here and now. And Maggie apparently, and I know that some people might think, well, why does it matter? You don't, if you think she's not all, because she is a reflection of other people in this community who, for whatever reason, follow you, Erasmo, and now don't want to support you. They want to support them. So she's just a symptom of the problem, I guess. Am I wrong there? I don't. Maybe
Well,
I'm
again,
overstepping my
I
overstepping it.
actually posted it on that post. She's become a tool, a tool, a weapon of the corrupt system that we're supposed to be fighting.
But maybe she's gonna be our dear Renee. Like, so, dear Maggie. That maybe that's what we're doing. I don't know.
Well,
But you're right. She is going out there, holding herself out there. I'm assuming, again, I'm blocked. I can't read her stuff, but based off of what you're telling me, she's holding herself out as some knowledgeable person about this stuff. People read her, and people are like, oh, she's like, because you already have your baggage at Osmo, right? And I have, I guess, my own baggage of the negativity that we're negative. So people will flock to somebody new, and then, oh, this is the new person we're supposed to listen to, and so we listen to Maggie. Don't listen to Erasmo. He's bad. Let's just listen to Maggie.
and that's fine. People could to listen to whoever they want to listen to. But again, folks, this is, and I made mention of Avacoa Gate. I made mention of Fly Frontera and the Bridge to Nowhere and TSC. I made mention of that because those are the fights that more people need to unite against. This one is a fight for everyone out there, especially individuals in the district. So, my goodness, you may like Farley as a person or as a co-worker, guys, but that report is damning. I mean, there's no coming back from it, you know? And again, are we ever going to get out of this damn hole? You know, yesterday I was just frustrated, and I put up a post. I'm frustrated, guys, because at the end of the day, I mean, I've fought many battles, not for me, for the community. I mean, this last one with the PUB thing, we were successful where nobody, I think, else has in being victorious in a lawsuit against PUB. Not
Is it possible, Adolfo, that they don't want you? Sorry to interrupt you, but is it possible that they are abandoning you because they're tired of you running? You don't win other than that one time, and so they're trying to go over there, and they don't realize that the one over there is not. The grass is not always greener on the other side, I guess, and they think the grass is green with Farley, and that's why they're going with Farley. Or to some of the people that your followers are now going with with Tim, like that one person you mentioned to me.
well, I, I don't know. I think that maybe it's the shiny penny syndrome. I honestly don't know. But if what Maggie is trying to do, and other individuals out there, if what they're trying to do is fight for BISD, how could you support Farley and Nelda at this point? How? They're lying to you on a sworn affidavit. They're lying to you. They're lying to our students, to everyone in the community.
Has anybody looked at, for example, and Victor Caballeros' signs? It says political ad paid for by the candidate, right, on those signs.
Yeah, I'm sure. I haven't seen it close.
I mean, maybe somebody can tell me. If it said political ad paid for by him, he should be reporting them. Now, if he can say, well, these are signs that I'm reusing from the last campaign, well, I don't think last campaign you were running for a specific place. This specific place you're running for now, so they can't be the same signs.
No, the
Unless they, I mean, or unless they're like he whited it out and did it by
well,
hand. Maybe he did that,
and
but
again,
then you would notice that there's like changes made to the sign.
and again, uh, in regards to the signs, Victor did start putting them up since January, I think. So
Yeah, they've been up for a while, but no, but I'm trying to tell you that even the previous one, he claimed he only spent $66. I don't know how that's possible.
good deals on signs,
I
but
mean, so I want to know, as somebody who's involved in politics, and maybe I'll run one day. Can you all tell me where you all get your signs that they're so damn cheap that you're zero or near zero? Because that is you are just getting such great deals
great
on your
deal.
signs, great, and the stakes, and that's not even including the zip ties,
Well, again,
that tie your sign to the thing.
and again, he may say that, oh, I bought them way early, and that's fine. But what about the meet and greet? I was
Yeah,
there.
the meet and greet. You were at the meet and greet. You were
I was
there.
at the meet and
I
greet
mean, where was it at? Did
at
somebody else pay
at,
for it? Why
at
are you
Big
not
Daddy.
reporting that?
But even if somebody else paid for it, you still have to report it. It was
Right.
at Big Daddy's. And again, I'm not out there trying to bash. Well, maybe yeah, but just why? Why do you do those things, man? And again, to the people that are out there supporting them, ask yourself why would they do that now? And also, what's going to stop them if they are successful in winning the seat? Will they be transparent? Will they tell you the truth? Are they going to do good for our kids? The
No,
answer
they're
is
just gonna do whatever Carlos tells them to do. What does that mean?
demo. Yo te amo. Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Like, okay.
BISD, anybody? BISD, the district or candidates? I'm not sure what the question is, but
Yeah, I don't know what the
I
question is.
honestly I don't know.
Can you put back a couple of El Tucker's comments because I didn't read them while you were talking.
That would.
I don't know. I didn't read any of them. You were posting them. You're like while I was talking, so I didn't read them. So yeah, no. Look, are there friends in politics? Yes, I disagree with you.
Yeah,
I disagree with you that there are no friends in politics. I have many friends in politics. Do some friends end up stabbing you in the back? Yes,
it's
they
unfortunate.
do. I mean it happened to me on multiple occasions. It's
It is
kind of
kind of
trippy.
trippy.
It's kind of trippy. Kind of trippy. Yeah. But I don't know any of the other comments that El Tucker was posting, so I
Maybe
didn't read
just
them all.
maybe you don't. Maybe
Maybe
okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
That's an interesting point, El Tucker. But hey, before we go, I mean,
There's a
let's talk.
lot of Mister. There's a lot of comments. I can't leave your comments out there permanently. I just have to go like yeah, one after the sorry.
Yeah. Hey, so let's just talk about some of the other things that's going on because I'm only here once a week, so have you been looking at any of the TV ads that have been posting? That I know I've been sharing some of them on my personal page.
I think yeah, the only time I see him is when you send it.
Well, you should probably look at some of the campaign finders, some of the TV ads. They're interesting. I mean, you have Adam Hinojosa and Morgan Lamatilla going after each other, like gotch, like they're just on TV
Oh,
and what?
now that you mentioned that, I want to share two things. First of all,
Okay,
uh, they're supposed to send me information in regards. They mentioned to me in regards to one of the individuals that's on that. It's outrageous. TV commercial
what?
on that one of
I
the.
love that ad.
Have you heard this? One of the
No,
individuals on there is that has no documents, undocumented.
what?
Supposedly, they're
Allegedly,
allegedly
supposedly.
they're supposed to send the information. I don't know. And again, nothing against anyone that's working and without documents. I mean, you do what you need to do. The other thing, which is really disheartening, is that what's his name? The one that was running against La Mataquilla,
Adam Hinojosa?
Adam Hinojosa, allegedly, and they were going to send me the information last night or today. Again, and I'm not digging for information; they're sending it. And that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
That he sold a watch to a priest
No, it's not a priest. It's a Catholic deacon.
Some of those. Rolex. Oh, so you know about this?
Yeah, Run had posted about it.
I haven't seen it. And the whatever the priest or the deacon, whatever it was, is that had been saving for like for years and stuff, and it was a fake Rolex.
Yeah, the story that I've understood, and again, this is all allegation. There's a Catholic deacon had paid roughly $12,000 for a Rolex, allegedly buying it from Adam's company. Which one? I don't know which company. And he had something had messed up with it, and he tried to go fix it. And the person that, hey, I'm not touching the Rolex because it's not a Rolex. And so allegedly he went and spoke with Adam and said, Adam, I think that's even in the lawsuit that Montoya posted. Adam said, come over to my store and sign a non-disclosure agreement. And it's like, but well, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, why would I have to sign a non-disclosure agreement? That just makes no sense. And somehow or another,
Oh,
that ended up being that he didn't want to return the money to the guy, or allegedly, and so now he has filed a lawsuit in Nueces County, the Nueces County court system, and JP court, kind of like you, Erasmo. He filed it over there, and it's in the lawsuit there. It's up there now. People are not. Look, I like Adam. I consider him a friend and everything like that. But this issue can be very problematic in this particular race that is so close.
yeah, very close.
It's an extremely close race. It was within 600 votes last go around. If you have somebody who allegedly in a court, and I mean the man's a Catholic deacon, you don't become a Catholic deacon unless you're a good person somehow. You honesty kind of important in the clergy.
Yeah,
I don't know how honest you are, Erasmo, but I mean, I'm assuming that this deacon is, and I lived in Corpus for a while, and I think that guy's like very famous up over in Corpus as a deacon. And so, if he's saying that this is real and he has paperwork and he's making a lawsuit, there might be something there.
yeah.
And for whatever reason, allegedly, um, Adam doesn't want to pay, give return the money. And so the question is, why not? And that speaks to his character as a person. And I'm not saying that you should judge him for it. I'm not saying I'm judging him for it. I'm just saying that if something like this gets out, and it's been out in the interwebs, voters might look at this and say, do I want to vote for somebody who would do this to a Catholic deacon? And I don't know if you know this, Erasmo, but the majority of Senatorial District 27 that he's running in are Catholics.
I did not know that, but it is a little Bible Belt. So I don't know.
I mean, or it's most definitely Hispanic, majority Hispanic. So people might not be happy.
No, not happy. But again, if you did it to anyone, que gacho, no? You do it to someone that's known in the community, and I like Roman says, I don't know the individual. I have no idea, but you get to that position because you're of your service, because you're a great individual. So it just makes it worse, especially if the individual is very well known. Those are the two things I know. In regards to TV ads, I watch them when I think a lot of them are funny. I think a lot of them is well, especially Maida's are just it's just ridiculous.
Well, I'm gonna, Mr. Joaquin. I will use the same argument that Osmo was using earlier. You don't you don't hear Maggie going out there complaining about somebody. You don't expect somebody to speak about every single issue, I guess you could say.
I guess,
I
yeah,
mean, right? I
yeah.
mean,
But again, in regards to Maggie, you mentioned Maggie. This is something that if you're going to go out there and scrutinize Erasmo Castro for a 2018 report, what about right now?
mm,
You know,
yeah, but anyway, and I think that particular race between Morgan and Adam is going to be a very telling race. They're already being negative on TV. We're 27 days away from the election.
a little bit.
They're going a little negative. I mean, Morgan Lamantia has an ad where she's attacking him for vouchers. She had last week or 2 weeks ago for running for 2 weeks, attacking him for healthcare issues and things like that. So and Adam's doing the same thing. But the problem that I see with Adam is his first TV ad was negative from the very beginning, and I think that you should be doing that as a person that people don't necessarily know.
Yeah,
Also, I don't think his ads are very professional looking, and I don't know if they're going for that. I don't know if they're going for the public access looking type of ad, like public access. I mean, compared his ads to Morgan Lamatia's, and she's going her face. There's, it looks nice. It's very professional. I'm not saying it's professional. It just it doesn't look that great.
they get annoying when you're just trying to watch football. I've grown to despise. They're like they are annoying, and
Or mine? You mean like when I'm going to fight for your family or mine? You mean like that? Yeah, I guess.
annoying. I, I
Well,
I again, I don't watch commercials.
well, I also listened to him on the radio. Like Juanita Janie Lopez, she has an ad on the radio where she says that she is whether and it's her voice, whether it's at my kitchen table at the state capitol, I'm fighting for you. Why the hell are you fighting for me at your kitchen table? How the hell? Who are you fighting with? Who's in your kitchen table? You're fighting for me or for you or for anybody. That makes no. I'm fighting for your values at her kitchen table. Makes no sense. So whoever wrote that, dumb.
Well,
And she's dumb for reading it that way too.
let me say the only commercial that I listened to on the radio is I was driving to McAllen in the truck because long story, my insurance lapsed on the Tesla. I hadn't even realized it, so I said I'm going to take the truck. I'm not going to drive a vehicle without insurance. But I heard one of Maida's commercials where she's bashing Chente for sex change, children's sex change, and I'm listening to it and go like, I really don't believe that Vicente Gonzalez, what's his last name?
Vicente Gonzalez, yes.
Yeah, whatever.
You've
Uh,
been your congressman for almost 2 years and you don't know his last name.
I mean, he and I are not friends. Don't
Okay.
have conversation with him. He I think he was very dissy with me at one point. I don't care, but I don't believe. I didn't believe it. That it's unbelievable. And that's what's unfortunate about a lot of these commercials, that they don't seem genuine. They don't seem believable because I sincerely don't believe that Vicente Guerrero supports children's sex change.
Vicente Gonzalez.
What? Whatever the guy's name is.
That's really bad. Well, you said it. What next thing you go? Vicente Gracia. Vicente Garcia.
Vicente Lopez. It's one of those Mexican names.
Vicente Martinez. Vicente Fernandez. No, not the guy.
It's one of those damn Mexican names.
Okay, so I think that you see I think there's a lot of interesting ads out there on my side, on the Republican side, but on that thing is those are what we call wedge issues. Those are issues that they've done polling. I'm assuming that they've done polling, and they say that if I were to tell you X, would you vote for him? And they'll do polling. They'll say if I tell you this, we vote for him. Well, you tell you this, and I would have to assume that this was the one issue that said, if you told me that he voted for this, I would not vote for him. And that's why they're hammering him on that issue. That is what they're doing. And that is what they're trying to move. And I'm going to tell you that I have friends on both sides of the aisle. I am a Republican, but I do have friends on the Democrat side. So I've been privy to some of the polling that's out there. And I'm going to, and some of these races and their polling are like in one particular race, one side has it double digit lead for their person, and the other one has a single digit lead, within the margin of error, losing. And they're just they're completely opposite. But then in other races, one side has it exactly the same as the other side, and so it's very interesting. What's going to happen in these particular races. But I don't like going back to Juanita, and I only talk about Juanita that because Jonathan Gracia doesn't have any ads yet, and I'm sure, and he does have on YouTube, he does have a border security ad that I think is a very fairly effective ad, especially if you're trying to get middle of the road, maybe light Republicans or independents to vote for you. It's an effective ad, but she is spending boatloads of money trying to win this particular race. and her race is a very, I'm told it's a very, very tight race. Jonathan could pull it off, and or Janie could pull it off, and we're talking like within like 1 or 2 points of each other, and it's going to be a very, very close race, very similar to the Adam Morgan Lamantia race. And it's going to be up to you all to decide who you want to vote for. But I believe values and character are important. And I think that it's very interesting that you have lawsuits going around. I think and then what's funny is Morgan Lamantia hasn't even talked about that. If you look at the ads on Morgan Lamantia's ads are going about issues, specifically issues, not attacking him as an individual. And Adam's sort of doing the same thing in his TV ads. There are these outside groups that are mucking it up, whether it's the Texas Public Policy, no, Texans
Pack,
for taxpayer or whatever, fiscal responsibility. They've done an ad that I'm just like, it almost looks like he's in a worse than cable access. So don't pay attention to those ads. Pay attention to the ads that the candidates are doing themselves and they're paying for, because their money is their message, and figure out who you want to vote for based on what they're saying.
yeah, I agree. And again, uh, just folks, do some research. Eh, you know, but do research in order to get informed, because a lot of people go out there and go like, well, like to check that. Well, I want to talk to you. You support child check change. Have a little tact in regards to asking individuals things. And
But I
you'll get
think,
more answers.
yeah, Jessie had written something in her own voices, and I don't know if I said voices or if I said in her own voice. But if I did say voices, it probably was my brain's thinking she has different voice. Even if you look at her TV ad compared to her radio ad, she sounds very different. And it's in the radio ad, she sounds real. You have a guy that like sounds like the Bluebell guy. It's like, oh, your state representative Janie Lopez is like the best person, and you got, I'm Janie Lopez, and you should vote for me because Janie Lopez has done this particular thing. And Janie Lopez, and I'm voting for you in the kitchen table. So it's like, it's really weird. And then you hear that voice, and you compare that voice to what you hear on her TV ads. They sound different. They sound weird. I mean, and I gotta say, as I don't think you and I have talked about this, but I know I hate giving the stupid blog a plug, but stupid or run. They were posting that Janie didn't attend the funeral for the deputy constable that happened on Monday. And I'm not going to try to politicize funerals, and you shouldn't politicize funerals. However, if you are a state representative and a deputy constable killed in the line of duty, you have received the endorsement of CLEAT. Law enforcement were everywhere and in abundance, and you have TV ads that say you're all about law enforcement and back in the blue or whatever, and you are asked to give a speech at the funeral of a fallen
Officer.
law enforcement, you need to attend.
Yeah.
And according to a run, she was out campaigning, and instead she sent one of her staffers. And that is bullshit. And I say this as a Republican because this is ridiculous. You show up. On top of that, Norman Esquivel, the constable, is a Republican. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. And you know what? To Senator Lamantia's credit, to Senator Lamantia's credit, she's a Democrat. I'm assuming she was invited to speak. She showed up and she gave a speech. She didn't go out campaigning. And at least according to a run, that's what Janie Lopez did. And that is who some people in my party are pushing so hard. And I get it. She's a Republican nominee. But give me a break. Like, how do you not go? How do you send some lowly person? So for the funeral you had Senator Lamantia speaking, you had Norman Esquivel speaking, the constable. The county judge Eddie Trevino, I'm assuming spoke. Luis Saenz, I'm assuming spoke. And then you get a staffer from your state representative. It's not like you're in freaking Washington, D.C. It's not like you're a congressman or a congresswoman. You're a state representative. It's a very tiny district that only includes part of Cameron County and all of Willis County, and that's it. And you couldn't show up to a funeral of a fallen deputy constable that died protecting citizens in your district. And died in your district. And you couldn't show up, and you were asked to be there. I know I'm going to get crap. You're a Republican woman. You shouldn't be bashing her. I'm like, I'm not bashing her. I'm just like, as a Republican, I'm disgusted. As a Republican, I feel I'm sorry. I feel horrible for that person who died on the line of duty, and and not to have you ask somebody, and one of according, she was going to be one of the podiums because she didn't go. That's ridiculous. It's insane. But hey, she backs the blue. I remember. I
I saw.
remember handing up things for her, saying, "I back the blue. I back the blue. Vote for me." And I'm telling people. I told people you should vote for her because she backs the blue. How how is that backing the blue by not going and speaking at a funeral of a fallen man? I'm pissed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that I'm pissed, but I am, and
it's
every and it,
it's
other
unfortunate.
people should be upset.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because I think the whole community came together, and
Yes.
we're let me say this though, there were a lot of fake pages out there, um, asking for funds, that GoFundMe's. So please be careful with that as well. I would trust any GoFund that's coming out of the constable's page, or maybe the direct family. But yeah, be careful. There was a lot, like three or four fake pages that came out. But yeah, it's a time for everyone should come together, especially those individuals that have been elected to represent us at that level, and more so when one of your talking points is, I back the blue. Let's see. I don't know. They spent 7 million on her last campaign. I don't know. I don't think it was that much.
Yeah, it was pretty. I want to say it was $7 million. And look,
Wow.
she's spending money, her money. I mean, you people voted for John Cowan and he spent chingo de lana. People voted for Tony Martinez and he spent chingo de lana. People voted for Trey Mendez and he spent chingo de lana.
Tons.
Like, people spend money. They tend to be Democrats. All three people I represent are Democrats.
Yeah,
But
the poor people.
no, I said three because I'm not
Yeah,
mentioning La Mentilla.
the poor people's candidates.
Oh, yeah. So, people spend money on their own campaign, let them spend their own money. But I don't see if that's a reason not to want to like be okay with her. I'm not, and again, I'm not saying you to vote for La Matia. I'm not telling you to vote for Adam Hinojosa. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, she's spending her own money. And I'm pretty sure she's spending even more of her own money, to win that particular seat. But, you know,
Again, it's unfortunate. Again, it shouldn't be about the finances, but at
wait,
that
wait, wait. We were
that
talking about campaign finance reports,
no,
so you
no,
can't say that.
it shouldn't be about the money. But at that level of office, you're going to spend a crap load of money. It is a Texas state senator. You know, if you want to be it, you're going to have
Yeah,
to.
and that particular race is the most competitive race in the entire state. People all over the state are paying attention to it. They think that a Republican might be able to win that seat. Look, the when I ran for office, I spent a lot of my own money on my own race. I didn't really want to accept many donations from people. At one campaign, I did receive some donations, but not much. And another one, I spend my own money completely. And so it's interesting. It's interesting that she is spending her money. Yeah, her money, her family money, whatever. It's but their money. You want me to use the pronoun there? I guess I don't know. Um, Spending their own money. At least they're not being bought off. I guess you could argue that. I mean, right? Yes, no.
Well, it's their money. Again, not sure. Again, it's their money.
What
Uh,
are you doing?
my sister sent me a message.
Okay.
Well, Hinojosa defeat La Mantequilla. His carne guisada plates were delicious.
Oh, wait. So you're telling me you went to one of his look? I'll tell you on that. I'm told that on the our side, Adam has his race tied with her. I heard on the Democrat side that she has him up by one. And so it's going to be a very close. That's within the margin of error. I expect it to be really, really close. He's now on TV. He's been on TV for like 2 weeks. He just started a new ad yesterday where he's attacking her on these wedge issues, trying to motivate people because he wants to do that. That district is again the most competitive race in the district. If if Trump does well and Trump has coattails, Adams should do well enough to potentially win the race. Right now, I can't sit here and tell you who's going to win the race. I can't. It's going to be that close, that race. So if Democrats come out to vote in Hidalgo County and Cameron County, as they normally do in presidential election years, and they get their same percentages, they will have just enough. They will have it more than enough votes to be able to have her win. The trick is going to be is on the Republican side, will the Republicans in Clayburgh, in Nueces County, in B County, and San Patricio County, which are in the district, and they're and he doesn't have they don't have all of Nueces County. They don't have the most Republican parts of Cameron County, Nueces County. If they come out to vote in droves for Trump and they vote for Adam, but it's going to be a close race either way. Both sides have it like tight, 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 tight. And there's also a third party candidate. People don't realize that there's actually a Green Party candidate that's running. So if I'm Morgan Lamantia, I'm a little bit concerned there being a Green Party candidate because some of the liberals that you want to vote for you may not necessarily vote for you. They might vote for the Green Party. That 1 or 2 points going to that person might be the difference between you winning and losing. And remember, last go around 2 years ago, the vote was 600 votes. What's the difference?
100%, and it's going to be a close race. I think. I don't think Janie's is going to be as close. I think Jonathan has been doing a good job, and I think Jonathan is going to take it from her.
But both sides have it within. They both have it a 2-point margin. Both sides.
I think Jonathan's going to do really well, and I say that he went to my sister's house at Rancho Viejo. I went to my sister's house, and she goes, "Oh, is there, Jonathan Gracia?" And I asked for your vote. He goes, "Let me ask you." My sister's. Well, I usually just ask my brother who to vote for. And he goes, "Oh, who's your brother?" She goes, "Erasmo Castro." "Oh, yeah, he's good with me." What? So
Well,
Jonathan, yeah, Jonathan. I mean, I like you, bro, and if you, I like Jonathan.
yeah.
And
Well, I'll say this: 2 years ago, when Janie had her polls, in her first poll, she was up by 9. The next poll she did, she was up by 7, and that poll, and then she ended up only winning by 3.5 points. So if she's up by 2 right now, she might be concerned. And the thing is, she's angered a lot of people on my side. She's angered a lot of people, and a lot of people are not happy with her because she voted to impeach Paxton. So there might be people on my side that will not vote for her. They might leave it blank. They're not going to vote for a Democrat, but they're going to leave it blank, and that might be the difference between her winning and losing. And she also doesn't have the same people that were back in her last time, back in her this go around. Although she does have a crap ton of money coming in from Greg Abbott. I looked at her campaign finance reports. 3 different people did polling for her. One of them for Dade Phelan, Speaker of the House, did a poll for her last September. Greg Abbott paid for a poll for her last September. And another organization, I want to say it was Texans for Lawsuit Reform, paid for a polling for her last September. So there are 3 different organizations polling for her. So they know where the race is at. And the amount of money and emphasis that they're putting into that race, I firmly believe that they know that this race is within 2 points. That's where both sides, I think, have it. And it's going to be, interesting. If she is angered enough Trumpers not to vote for her because of her vote to impeach Ken Paxton, she's going to have problems.
And there's a lot of Trumpers, a lot of Hispanic Trumpers out there, guys.
Mhm.
This election is going to be so interesting, and at all levels, actually, Roman. It's going to be interesting at the federal with the White House. It's going to be interesting at the state with the ones that we mentioned. It's going to be interesting for BISD. Really,
Yeah.
really, very interesting. And again, I'm going to say this again, guys. Please, get ready to go out and vote. Encourage other people to please come out and vote. Take them to vote. It's the only way that we will be successful. ¿Qué está, papi? ¿Eh? What? Ah, sí. Y agua primero. ¿Ahí está papá afuera o qué? No. He asked, okay. My dad asked for money. It's crazy.
Well, that's good.
He,
You
yeah,
know what?
he
Yeah.
calls me and goes like, yesterday goes, I fixed the air conditioner in the Mexican car. I go like, oh yeah, it had a leak. And I said, yeah, I noticed that it would go down. Y le pusimos Freon. You're like, yeah, great. Son, son $120. I'm going like, you want me to pay?
What?
You
It's
want me to pay?
crazy.
I mean, I said, okay. So I sent
Yeah.
to him yesterday, but he had already gone or something. And so right now he's
Mhm.
going, ¿y mi dinero? he told
Oh wow.
one of my
Yeah.
assistant, "Are you meeting anyone?" So I go take it to him.
Yeah,
It's not
I
unfair.
did. I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about polling and stuff. The Democrat, the DCCC, they have a poll, and you want to see the poll yourself or the reference to it, they did a poll in September. It's on the 538, the ABC thing, Project 538. They have their poll. They had a poll of the Texas 15, which does not incorporate Cameron County, but it's somebody had mentioned Monica De La Cruz's ad. The Democrats, and they put it out there, have the race between Monica De La Cruz, the current congresswoman in that one, and Michelle Vallejo. They have it within 3 points. They have it Monica De La Cruz under 50% at 48%, and they have Michelle Vallejo at 45%. So that's a close race for an incumbent. People are going to want to spend money in that particular race, and that might take some some if and I'll say if Monica is struggling to only be winning 3% in a race that is a Trump plus 5 seat, a seat that she won by 9 points last go around, and that's what the Democrats have her. I don't know what the Republicans have her, but the Democrats have her at that. There's going to be some problems for people like Ted Cruz, national and statewide.
Say what?
There might be, and Ted's my friend. I'm voting for Ted. I have no problem saying voting for Ted. I will vote for him, but he might have a little bit of problem if Monica De La Cruz is struggling in her own district.
Yeah. Actually, I thought it was about that time where Ted was going to be in trouble anyway. So it's
Well,
again.
I mean, he won 3 point by 3 points, but all the polling says he's up 4 or 5. I mean, there's one poll, the one poll that Channel 5 talks about. There's one poll where Albert in the lead, and it's a morning consult poll. They had 1,900 likely voters, and the morning consult had done a poll 2 weeks earlier, and they showed Trump Cruz up by 5, and now all of a sudden Albert is up by 1, and it's the only poll that Project 538 has that shows Allred potentially winning and by 1 point. So no,
I had
I still think Ted wins. I still think Ted wins. I don't think he loses this particular race. But it is concerning to me that Monica is only up by 3 in Democrat internal polling that they released.
I had to get up to rearrange
Your butt?
my pants because they were like cutting into
Do you
certain
even
parts.
have a butt anymore? Like you lost so much weight?
It's kind of weird, but actually, I mean, it's a little bit on the wobbly side, but
Wobbly side? What?
it's there. I've noticed that there's that little hump, so it's there. Well, a lot of my skin is like all over the place. That's expected. Um,
Mm.
it's going to be an interesting November 5th, guys. It really is, and hopefully Roman will be on. I know he gets invited by everyone out there on that night, so that we could share it all together. Share all together as to the results as they come in. We won't know about the presidential race so probably the next day, though. But we don't know.
Right now, if you're asking me, if you're not asking me, and I'll be on next week with you.
Perfect.
I think Trump wins right now. I think Trump is going to win this race right now.
I think so too. Again, I've made it public. I'm voting for Trump, and
Oh, and I'm voting for Trump too.
I voted for Trump before, and I'll vote for Trump again.
And I urge people to vote for Trump.
Yeah, it's there again. Not a doubt. You have my vote, dude. I appreciate that, bro, and I know I always do. And thank you to everyone who has sent messages. A lot of people sent messages, and you're going like, "Oh man, this day." I said, I appreciate the message and everything, but I'll be okay. I'm a big boy, and again, I don't hate Maggie. I don't hate these people. I really don't. It's just disheartening that people don't know how to be friends. And I may mention this. Don't call me your friend if you really aren't. And we could disagree and have fights. Roman and I have fights all the time.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. I love hanging
Very,
right.
actually, very, very public.
Very public, and they're the best. They're
Yeah.
my favorite.
And I've never stopped considering him a friend. And I do that with a lot of people. Discussions or arguments, and people post stuff about me, and let it go. Stuff like this is just really uncalled for. But
I
again,
just want you to say the word Celia one time. Celia.
give back the money.
I don't know. It's funny.
And
Hey, how's she doing? You got to visit her?
no, she supposedly the last I heard, she was at this halfway house where she gets to go out and has to back in. Again, she's serving her time, and again, I said, was it enough time? I don't believe so. I think she done a lot of harm to the community. But she served the time for her sentence, and when she comes out, if I run into her, I'll say, "Hey, Sylvia, I say, hope you're doing well," like that. Punto.
Yeah, and that's really what
Mm,
it's supposed to be about. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, it really is. I mean, she paid her debt. She paid her debt to society when she's released.
yeah. There you go.
It doesn't mean that we're happy
Trust
with
it.
her,
No.
but she paid her debt to
Well,
society.
and it's I've run into Minerva several times. At that meeting or that they had at on Central Boulevard. What's that place? I can't remember.
Near Delhi, it
Near
does.
Delhi.
That's closed now.
Yeah, no,
Hey, Gilbert, if you're watching, we need New York Delhi back.
and she'll punch you in your face. Maybe.
If she
But
does, somebody videotape it.
that would make millions. But I've ran into Minerva and uh, has the same when run into Minerva. I'm running a message. Ran to Minerva and very kind and courteous. Minerva, how you doing? It's okay. Oh, yes, yes. She's like always like very like, and I'm okay. When she filed charges against me, So again, I'm cool with it. We'll see her try to make a comeback. No, she can't. She cannot teach. Uh, uh, those certifications have been removed, and plus she is going to be carrying a felony. So,
Everybody makes a comeback. I
well,
mean, even Elvis had a comeback. The comeback
well,
special.
I think she'll be working a lot of things like behind the scenes in regards to a lot of the political stuff here. That's for sure. She's going to be one a player a player in that sense, but she'll never hold office, and she will not be able to teach. Again,
If I can
I've been with
dream
him.
of a better way, let's all
Este,
together go hand.
thanks for
Tell me,
being on,
tell me
Roman.
why.
So,
Tell me why.
thanks
Oh,
for being on.
why
Sorry, it went on for an hour and a half.
can't
Over an hour
my
and a half.
dreams come true? Sorry, I'm singing an Elvis song from the comeback special. You know that song. If I can dream. Yes, you do. Shut up.
I,
You
I'm like
can. You know it. Okay, how about ghetto in the ghetto?
that one I know. I'm from South Most.
There you go. In the ghetto.
Guys, again, thank you all again. Thank you, Roman.
You're welcome. That's-
And if you anytime you want to,
Hopefully, I don't get you in trouble.
uh, it might, but I'm used to it.
How? What do you think I
I'm
did?
used to it. Well, I'm used to it, so I don't care. Um,
What?
I'm used to getting in trouble.
I don't think I get you in trouble. You're cool.
Guys, have a great day and great show. Again, thank you all for your support. We need you to come out to vote early voting October 21st, please, please, and get people out there to vote as much as possible. As this country needs it, and BISD needs it. You need it, guys. Be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.